Okay, time now for the daily random word generated story. Random word. Let's do it. Boom. Discrimination. Discrimination. All right. Seems like a heavy word. Discrimination. Discrimination. Take that two ways. Like racial discrimination, or maybe somebody who shows discrimination. Discernment. How many times have you used the word discernment today? Yeah, me neither. None. Okay, discrimination. What do we got? What's in there? Discrimination. Got it. All right. So another, as I did yesterday, this will be, I will be telling a soccer-related thing. So, I guess continuing the sorry saga of my mental getting beaten upness from having managed as well as played for Millburn United, which persists to this day without me. They have flourished. There's like 4 different teams, different ages. I think there's an over 55. But anyway, continuing. So after I kind of retired myself from playing with that club, because of how traumatic it was for me to deal with the fallout from our losing season in 2000, the year 2000. I not only did I find a rather nice pickup game not far from my home in the nearby town of South Orange. We played under the lights on a big field near the center of that town. Well lit field at night. But I stayed in touch with one of the players that a guy named Leo played with that group. And Leo was probably is the best pound for pound best player I ever had the privilege of playing with. Leo hailed from Argentina, and he was a skilled player. He was probably a little over 30 years old when I played with him. And there were a couple of Uruguayans who play kind of a bit like Argentinians, and they share sort of similar cultures. I think there's a similar Italian influence in the country. Anyway, Leo was really good. And somehow, because I kept in touch with him, did a little bit of legal work for him. He worked in the town where my office is, in a coffee shop, and did some short order cook work nearby. All of that, kept in touch with Leo, and ended up as the sort of lone gringo and also the lone older guy on a small team where we played indoors, like in the winter, in an indoor astroturfed surface in, of all places, Millburn. But we were just, it was basically we were a Latino, except for me, team. And when you play indoor soccer, and maybe there's about 6 people at a time on a side. It's a field that's like you play sort of the width of a normal field, but that's your length. So it's a lot smaller. And you would think that you don't, you conserve energy and stuff because it's a smaller field. No, kids. You're just like sweating from every pore. You have to like borrow pores to sweat from because you're working hard. You're running up a storm. And I was a bit of an older player. These guys were like 20s and 30s. Here I was probably pushing 50 at that point. So I was huffing and puffing, but I got to play and I was enthusiastic, and that was cool. They just sort of, you know, enfranchised me. There is a photo still extant of me on that team somewhere. I could dig it out, where we're all just standing there. We had contrived to have some kind of uniforms, and for all the world, it looks like a bunch of guys with, let's be charitable to me, please, like their father. You know, it wasn't this gray, but it was gray up here, and you know, a little bit of the little bit of that action going on, you know, which they mostly lacked. But I, you know, I ran, you know, and stuff. So the point, discrimination, if you remember, is the prompt here, the suggestion. And I had the experience of playing in one game where we were playing against these Italian Americans, mostly emphasis on American guys, probably somewhat local Jersey guys. Pretty good team. They played hard. They played fast. We were, you know, we had our hands full, but you know, we basically were not on that different a level. We could bring it, especially Leo. Again, he had this trick where he just managed to stop the action and put his put his knee down on the ball, kind of in the middle of everything, and he was so commanding with his skills and his ball handling that nobody would like touch him, and he would just stop everything. And it was basically doing that to say, I can stop the game here. And he'd look around, and you know, it's just a good player, great player. But I had the experience playing on the team of having the ref, because they had referees. They had an older ref, and you could feel, I'm telling you, the prejudice, the bias. We would yell to each other, or most of the other guys, in Spanish, and the words were like, you know, pass the ball to him, watch him, you know, just totally kosher stuff. And the ref made every 50-50 call went against us, almost every call. And it was, you could see the ref's feeling was that we were, you know, plotting to like assassinate people because we were Latinos. I felt like, you know, I was with us, and we were Latinos, and you could feel the prejudice, man. You could feel it. Try that sometime. If you think there isn't bias, just try being a Latino or whatever, and have the ref like make every call against you. That's it. That's what I got. Have a nice day. Don't take any you know what. Mierda. Cheers.